Almost in 22 years, I don't know what fun is. The pain is more. I don't understand sadness and fun, but know clearly pain and scare. Did anyone give you something, a cake, a smile, for example? Yes, there is one female soldier, Miss I. She is the first person in life that helped me. She took me to the military unit to live. When the people in the train fight and sent me away, she and her friend helped me. She asked me to hide under the seat to avoid the fight. She allowed me to come with her to the unit, but her friend did not. But at last, she determined to take me with her. After living a while, because the soldiers did not allow to stay, she determined to come to live with her family. And when living with her father in her family, Tieu Huong was firstly done like that by father. So I was afraid that her father was like my father. Therefore, Tieu Huong determined not to stay. Whenever talking about my father, I was scared and did not accept. So at last, I returned to train station. Talk about my real life, it is very bitter and painful, because if talking about happiness, Tieu Huong never think that I will have it. And talking about gladness, I just dream about the peace in everyday life. But it is just a dream, so I have never thought that I can achieve it. Can you remember the first time you received a child? How was it? It is a boy or girl? Where was it? When sleeping in Min Dong car station, I saw a little child of 2 or 3 years old. At that time, I do not think much. I just know that I must not let it die, and I don't know that if I pick it, I could get anything to eat. At that time, how old are you? About 10. Having lived like that, about 10 years old, when meeting an abandoned child, how can you make it living? Every day, Tieu Huong went everywhere to pick the banana peel that they waste and the excesses of noodles that the noodle sellers throw away and chew and feed the child. I think it doesn't mean that only when we have money, we are able to help the others, and we are not necessary to be rich to save the others. The important thing is whether we love the people besides us or not. And if we love that child and we feel that the child's life is valuable to us, no matter how hard the life is, we are still able to save the child's life. After that, you had to live a wandering life or street life, as the users say. How could you take the child with you, or you had to send it to someone? Oh, I usually take it with me anywhere. Although it was very difficult, I think the difficult were just about the food for the child. But the mystery, I thought lucky was better than living alone, because there were 2 people, there was just 1 person before. One person just cried alone and felt sad alone, but at least having a baby that I could hug whenever I write, and I had a person to confide, although it did not understand me. It is my encouragement and also the motivation to save myself whenever I feel sad the most. Whenever I want to suicide, I had to think for my child first. I needed to be saved and I could not die. I had to do something to ensure the life, so I tried my best. You say that you used to want to say goodbye to life. Can you remember you had this thinking after which event? I was brought from this place to another place to perform as a tool, so I thought that my life was invaluable. Firstly, it was not worth to be a human. Secondly, my life was invaluable at all to continue to live. However, I thought that if I died, who could protect my child? So if I wanted to die, firstly I shouldn't save my child, and we shouldn't create it anymore. In 1980, at 4615 Nguyễn Huệ Street, they tied my hands and legs into a Honda motor and threw me into Saigon River. They threw 3 times, but unluckily, I did not die. When they took me, I prayed God to let me die to avoid the harm. I prayed to die, but when being so, I was so afraid of death. At last, although I didn't know swimming, I still get to shore. Therefore, from that time, Tieu Huynh thought that before dying, I usually wished to die, but when being to die, I didn't dare to die. From that time, I determined to find the children. Do you think that you did an incredible thing? I myself have never thought that it is my difficulty, because I think that I was a lucky person. I am able to receive children and the child accepts to live with me. I think that this is a lucky thing. This doesn't mean that I must raise the children, this means I can raise them. And the reason why I love children is that I had a child before when I was harmed. And in the street life, it got a fever for 1 to 2 months. After that, they took it to the doctor, but never returned. When I met them, they say that it died. So Tieu Huynh thought that my child may be among these children. And from that time, Tieu Huynh decided to receive any abandoned child, and I thought to myself to protect the children to the end of my life.
Bất cứ một đứa trẻ nào bỏ ra, Tieu Huynh đều lượm về nuôi. Và Tieu Huynh nguyện trong lòng của mình, xong hết cuộc đời còn lại sẽ bảo vệ trẻ.
This is the secret that the first time you tell, isn't it? Why do you decide to say it today? Firstly, it is because I'm a newborn child. And secondly, besides me is the 2-year-old orphan child. Those two things combine in my biography. Therefore, I can lie myself.